So what is a beam? A beam is a horizontal structure of a member that carries transverse loads. There are a few pictures of beams. These are wooden beams, and this is a steel beam. Okay. Tension and compression on a beam. A simply When a simply supported beam is subjected to downward force, then the beam bends like this, which is called sagging, and the top fibers of this beam are in compression and the bottom fibers of this beam are in tension. And when a simply supported beam is subjected to upward force, it bends like this, and it's called hogging. And the top fibers are in tension in this case, and the bottom fibers are in compression. Usually in structures, the beam is subjected to downward force, not upward force. These arrows are indicating force. Concrete beams. Concrete is very strong in compression but very weak in tension. The compressive strength of concrete is 10 times its tensile strength. When we make beams with concrete and the beam is subjected to any kind of downward force or load, the beam tends to crack from the bottom because, as I have said before, in this case, this is a sagging case, and in sagging, the bottom fibers are subjected to tension, and concrete is weak in tension. That's why it starts to crack from the bottom. Here's another picture that is indicating the cracks in cellular level or micro level. So how to get rid of this problem? To get rid of this problem, we can use reinforcement in cement concrete beams. So we find RCC beams. This is a picture. It's saying that a concrete beam will begin to bend when heavily loaded. The base of the beam starts to crack where the concrete is pulled apart from the bottom because it is subjected to tension. By placing a steel rod inside the beam, the rod holds the concrete together and stops the beam from cracking. Stretching the rod and then releasing it to squeeze the concrete makes the beam very strong. Classification of beams. There are different kinds of beams: simply supported beams, and then overhanging beams, and then cantilever beams. Simply supported beams are the beams that are supported by simple supports like hinge support or roller support on both ends of the beam. Overhanging beams are the beams that are where one support is at one end of the beam and the other one is anywhere in the body but not at the other end. These kind of beams are called overhanging beams. Cantilever beam is a beam which has a fixed end and a free end. Then we have fixed beams, prop beam, and continuous beam. Fixed beam are the beams that are fixed at both ends. Prop beams are the beams that are fixed at one end and roller support and supported by roller support on the other end. Continuous beams are the beams that have more than two supports. Internal hinge may be included as well. Materials for beam construction: sand, cement, reinforcement, vibrator, cutting machine, mixing machine. These are used for beam construction. The construction of beam. Types of formwork. There are usually two types of formwork: steel formwork and wooden formwork. Wooden formwork can be used only once, where steel formwork can be used multiple times unless it is no longer able to be used. We can use wooden formwork only once because of bulking and spalling. Reinforcement in beams. A millimeter of 2% bar is to be provided for the compression in order to take care of the deflection. And also extra tops are used in the support joints, and even extra bottoms are used if necessary. That depends upon the design of any beam. Here are a few pictures. This is a picture of extra top. Stirrups. Stirrups are used to resist shear and diagonal tension stress in a beam. Shall be minimum size of 8 millimeters. Here's a beam, and there's a line indicating the stirrup in the beam. Hooks. Alternate hook is provided, and the hooks shall be bent to 135 degrees. Strings distribution is dense near support. But there are always many kinds of hooks. There are U-shaped hooks, standard hook, 60-degree hook, standard 90-degree bent hook, alternative hook, and 90-degree bent hook again. The end. Thank you very much for listening to this boring presentation.